Hello, my name is Jeff Schneid with Diversified Fall Protection. In this video, we're going to talk about the various different types of attachment points, and we're going to talk about the technology of the tip-over post. What I have in my hand here is a standard aluminum base and the inner workings of the tip-over post. The post itself does nothing more than thread directly to the base plate. In the event of a fall, the horizontal lifeline is going to be exposed to a load. That load is going to transfer into this connection point, and it's going to pull in an outward direction, but it's also going to pull in a downward direction, tipping the post over. You can see this tightly wound spring is the actual base of the unit, and the spring itself is what absorbs the energy of the fall, but the spring also takes the connection to shear. So as I said earlier, this connection point would literally pull out and tip down to pull the load away from the connection points. In a rigid post design, what we end up with is the orientation is always going to be in a tear out mode where we create tension on one side of the connection point and compression on the other side of the connection point. And the amount of load that is applied at the actual connection is determined by the height of the post. So let's say that we have a 900-pound load in this orientation, and we have a 12-inch post here. We have a 900 foot-pound load back at the connection point. So this has to be designed around that. To further the tip-over technology discussion, I have here an intermediate post connection. What we have here is the aluminum cover. It's nothing more than a spun aluminum cover, and another spring design in the event of a fall. This unit will go ahead and pull straight and tip parallel to the base plate. The unique thing is this aluminum cover does nothing more than protect the spring from the outside elements. We have an initial sealant that goes over the top of it, and then we have a thicker component that goes over the top of it that will compress together and seal this connection point off. So therefore we have a total watertight connection. To further the discussion on the tip-over versus rigid post designs, this is the base plate of the tip-over post design. Earlier we talked about the connection method of the toggle bolt. So the toggle bolt itself is designed to connect directly down through the holes that appear in the corner of the base plate. So now what will end up happening is, we mentioned earlier that we would only have 4 holes that would be drilled in through the roof deck. Upon completion of drilling those holes, this is the toggle mechanism itself. It allows itself to be able to be put into a single plane, so you can insert the whole connection down through the hole. So this would connect down through the hole that we just drilled into the deck. It would spring open, and then you start tightening down the connection. In tightening down the connection, it's going to compress the base plate and the underneath side roof material to the metal deck below. Another advantage of this base design is, in the event of a fall, the whole top half, you'll notice that I've already removed the end anchor and the intermediate anchor that we discussed earlier. So we can unthread them and thread a new post connection right to the existing base. Because remember, the base is already mounted to the roof deck. In the rigid post design, what ends up happening, in the event of a fall, this whole area would have to be reopened, so you're going ahead and you're creating another large roof penetration, and the connection point would have to be recertified to make sure the load that has been transferred back down to the connection point has not been compromised in any way. In a standard recertification after a fall, this is an absolute must. You have to check the connection point to make sure it has not been compromised. Here, with the tip-over post technology, your base plate is already going to be exposed. You'll be visually to be able to look at each connection point. You'll actually be able to tighten the connection point back down to make sure that there was no further compression of the roof material during the fall. We strongly urge you to make sure that you're working with the proper fall protection partner, because safety is a culture. It's not a purchased product.